Welcome back to All Things Acura. I'm Matt.
And I'm Justin.
And Justin, it's been a minute. I know we've had a lot happen over the past, month or two with Acura.
Yeah, we've been late to the news press.
But we've been really busy too.
Yeah.
And I don't want to,
It's a good thing. That's what we're supposed to be.
It is. We are supposed to be busy.
Cars are showing up. That's a great thing.
And there's a lot of topics that we kind of, I don't want to say missed, but there's a lot of things that have kind of happened over the past month. But
we just can't get them out in a timely manner.
Yeah, well, but we are busy, and it's a good sign that things are turning around. We won't get too much. We're going to talk a little bit about a handful of topiks today. We'll kind of get into different things.
Come on, get right to it.
I don't want to get right to it.
They want to know about.
No. They want to know about what is it?
Well, the Integra, of course.
What, they came out with the Integra?
Well, not just the Integra. Come on, they already know.
Boy, this is not,
if you're after one of these, you already know. But
yeah.
We felt that it was our due diligence to tell you what we know.
Yeah, so, obviously we were a little bit late to this. We knew that, but that's okay. We let everyone else kind of talk about the Type S Integra. Because, to be fair, the car's not here yet. There's still some things I think we're learning about.
Yeah, I think we get a little more excited when we see them.
I agree. I had that conversation the other day with someone where it's like, until we can actually touch, feel the car, drive it, there's still things we learn about a car as it comes in.
Sure.
When they come in, there's things that we didn't expect it to be on the car, or maybe we expected to be on the car. Same thing is true with this Integra that just came out recently. So obviously the Type S, there's more. They confirmed the horsepower.
Yeah. What you know is what we know. That press release that came out. It was almost just a little over a week ago.
March 20th. Yeah. So.
Or maybe it was more than a week ago. But. But they haven't told us any more than that, other than I might have a couple other details on timing. But
that I didn't know in timing. We didn't talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
That you might not know. But what we do know is that it's going to have 320 horsepower, and I was wrong.
We were wrong.
I'm going to admit it. I was wrong.
We were wrong.
I said there was no way they're going to have this car have more than the Type R.
Yeah, I think you were running in the hallway the other day, and I said, Justin, did you see what they did?
And I'm like, yeah, I saw it.
Right.
So I'm excited. I'm glad they did it, but I was shocked.
Yeah, the 300-pound foot of torque, that's crazy. Obviously, I was not expecting it. At my highest expectation, I thought it was going to have the same kind of ratings as what the Type R was going to
have.
I don't want to say worst case scenario, but in like the most extreme case. Right?
I didn't think they'd make it the same. Like, I thought it was either be less, or if it was going to be more, it would be like 2 or 3 horsepower more. Like, it wasn't going to be
right.
Yeah. And not that it's a ton more, but it's substantially.
It's enough to be like, hey, I'm really, and I'm going to get some hate for this, I guarantee it. But it's 320 horsepower. The Type S TLX is 355. It's not that much more horsepower in a TLX Type S, and I kind of wish. I think
that the TLX had more.
Something. I think
or this had less.
Well, I don't know. I think my point is, I think that gap maybe should have been bigger.
Yeah, I give them. This is what they're supposed to do. This is what manufacturers are supposed to do. They're supposed to one up themselves, right? Challenge themselves to come out with things that are greater and bigger and better. And things that in the past, and even though it's not that old, you get left behind. I wouldn't say left behind, but it's just
you get left in the dust.
They get left in the dust, literally, because that car has to be able to leave the TLX in the dust.
That's right. Yeah,
it's like a third of the way, right?
And it's front wheel drive.
Yeah, that's the one part I was sad. See, I'd rather had and don't hate me, I'd rather had a 300 horsepower all-wheel drive version versus a 320 front-wheel drive. But you know what? In the big scheme of things, the way that car performs, and I'm speaking of the Civic because that's what we know in that performance, is phenomenal. It's like, so I guess, there's probably not a lot to complain about.
No.
Probably in that price range, too. I'm not sure what else you're going to put it up against.
That's the other part of it, too. We don't know anything about the price yet either. So if you're coming here to find out about what the price is, we don't know yet.
Yeah. So what do you think it's going to be?
Boy, after that, I think it's going to be close to 50.
Oh, hands out. Now that they announced that, I agree. I think that is what allowed them to open the door to say, it's going to be $49,977 plus destination charge.
Yeah.
So when you walk into the dealership just to get one off the showroom, it's going to be $51,000 plus.
They've already included the markup that some dealers will be charging.
And then let's not even get into that topic. That's a whole nother thing that we'll talk about as time goes on. Yeah. The availability, the good news, from the rumor mill in Acura and what they're telling us, the production of this is going to be quite a bit more than the Type R, which is good.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're 3,000 to 5,000 units a year, maybe even a little bit more, which is, that's not a ton, but it's a good number of these cars.
It's so interesting because, like, when you look at the Type R, right, and dealers are upcharging on that by anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000, at a minimum in some cases. Where does that fit in that lineup with regards to where Honda and Acura are performance-wise? If Acura is going to make a Type S, if you're going to pay $10,000 extra for a Type R, then the Type S Integra should definitely be a car you.
Well, and I think that's also the part that Acura will be, very bold. I don't even know what the right word is. Bold on the MSRP because they know that, hey, this car that we already built that has this powertrain never gets sold. At MSRP, like every dealer marks it up because, as horrible as a thing that is, I get it because there's so few. I mean, if you're a Honda dealership, and we have a pretty good sized Honda dealership here, and you see 1, 2 of these a year,
right?
That's
yeah. Well, if those Honda dealers, like I don't know how many Acura dealerships are paired with Honda stores. I'm assuming there's a handful across the country.
Sure.
We're unique in that case. Well, if we have a Honda Type R down here, we have 5 Type S's up here. What's that look like? Are they, who knows? It's going to be really interesting.
Yep.
Obviously, price point is going to be a major factor in that, and I'm hoping we're guessing in the high side. I would love to see that car maybe somewhere in the mid 40s, depending on and who knows? Maybe they'll offer 2 different kind of types, like the Type S.
Don't do that.
Oh, I don't want them to.
No, I don't want them to either.
With the performance wheel or not. Just one will be fine.
Yes, one car, please. Accurate.
Please,
you listen to anything, just one. Just do one.
The other thing I know we kind of talked about a little bit with regards to the powertrain. It does say it's a short throw 6-speed, which if I'm sure you read that. There was some hints that there could be an automatic. I know that there was some development when they talked about that.
Everything I think I've read is just talked about the manual transmission. So
there is, yeah.
Now, I don't know. I don't know if they left the door open for an automatic. I don't think they have an automatic that fits in that powertrain that would. Maybe.
I wonder because obviously they want to keep this as more of an enthusiast type of vehicle, so I'm guessing that's probably what they'll stick with unless there's enough.
I would think so.
It's interesting.
So the good news is, the Integra's been out for a year. This is going to come out after a year of the Integra being out. We'll have a longer shelf life for this Type S than I think we ever had in the past on something like that. So we'll get to see if that evolves down the road. Will they make something else down the road that, offers more different packages, automatic transmission? They might, I guess it'll be because usually if it comes at the end of a model life cycle, it is what it is, right? They don't
right, that's true. Yeah, so. It's coming at the, obviously the second year into the Integra.
So let's talk about the timing of that. We've already ordered 24 Integras. So we have 24 model
2024,
year.
20, yeah. You're good.
Not 24 of them. Right. 2024 model Integras, which are in the order bank. Those are late April, May production. And that's when they're going to start production on the Type S as well as in May, June. Mm-hmm. That car probably, and none of this is set in stone, but won't go on sale till in June, mid-June.
That makes sense.
Somewhere along between now and then, we're going to find out how you're going to get your hands on one of these. And as soon as we have that information, we'll get it out. The challenge will be in the past, just so you remember, last year when they did the Integra. Yeah. You could leave your money at your dealership. Yeah. However, that Integra needed to be ordered online because you got that NFT. Remember?
What's an NFT?
Well, let's not go back through that whole thing again. Let's keep it short and sweet. We'll talk about that. But you had to go through Acura's online order system to get in your spot in line, and that might be similar to this. So if you've already left money at a dealership, just know that That deposit might not mean anything
Yeah.
if the dealer has to order through that system.
Yeah.
We don't know that yet. So it's okay to leave a deposit. I understand. But however, that might not be how the cars are dished out.
Right.
So
I just read this last sentence here. It just says will officially be revealed next month ahead of the 48th annual Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach. So there could be some more information. What?
Right, that's when they'll probably release a little more information. That's when you'll get to see the regular car, which there really weren't any pictures. There's a great sound of the exhaust, which I might stick into this video.
Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds good. The two pictures they did provide, which were, if you didn't know what you were looking at, you wouldn't know what it is. You could see those flared fender or wheel flares.
Right. I was actually really surprised by that.
Yeah.
Because I know we in the like the camouflage picture, you could see that it looked flared, but I couldn't tell if it was just like that, the angle as to what it was.
Right.
But it's very prominent in the picture. You can definitely tell
good.
They were trying to highlight that aspect of it. So, which I think is super awesome.
So that's cool. We'll get more information out, but it's coming right down the pipe. I mean, we're in April. So you can think 30 days after that, they're already. I mean, they will start putting these things together quickly.
Yeah, sometime in April we'll find out.
The next really cool car that Acura just laid right there,
without telling anyone.
But
until they did,
I'm going to give you the big but. You can't have one, but they laid right there. Is the limited edition PMC TLX in Gotham Gray.
Can I have one? No.
Oh
no. Oh man,
sorry. So the PMC, they just went through the 50 of each color, or was that 100? No, I just
think it's 50.
50 of each color of the blue, red, and the white. And they obviously filled those orders where they had those online. You could order as one a month. You could do that color, and then they finally found some more Gotham Gray paint, which they didn't use for the NSX.
Right, that's right, because they didn't really make.
They didn't make as many as they said they were going to make. I guess they ended up making 66 of them. They anticipated, I think, 80. But somewhere they found 50 gallons of paint to paint 50 TLX Gotham Gray PMCs. Now, the trick with this is they aren't available. You cannot get on and order these. These cars actually were just. I don't even know why they kind of released. I mean, I get it. You want to tell everybody you're going to build the car, but you can't have it.
Right.
Which is, as a dealer, it just blows our mind.
I'm sitting here talking to people. I was like, do you know why you can't have it? Do you know why you can't have it?
So what they're doing, and now that we got the kind of the whole story, is they're offering this car to everybody that got a Gotham Gray NSX. So there's 66 owners of those cars, and they get an opportunity to buy a matching TLX Type S PMC, which I don't know how many of those are going to take advantage of. The moral of the story is they're going to find a home for these 50 cars through those channels. Now, there will be a select handful of dealers that do get the opportunity to get one.
To get one?
Well, it will just be one because it's whatever's left after, those people say whether they want the car.
Well, I guess they said, hey, there's one left. Which dealer across the country gets it?
Yeah, and how they're going to, it's going to be arm wrestling, politics, everything else. So it'll be interesting. Those will probably, if you can find one of those somewhere,
the car looks great. I'm sure it would be really cool.
Boy, that Gotham Gray, really looks good on that.
Why do they do this to us?
I don't.
Like, just make everyone obviously really wants that. Just
it really opens the door to what color are they going to offer on the Integra Type S?
Yeah.
Now, a little birdie said that they might offer the same Tiger Eye Pearl.
Okay.
I don't hate that, but I think they should do something different, right? Don't be the TLX.
Yeah,
do something different.
Right. Totally. Yeah.
Right.
Maybe.
I love the idea of the Gotham Gray, which obviously they're getting feedback and success, but over time we might see how the future looks. That color might become available on something down the road. I hope so.
Maybe they'll do the yellow because when they release
I like
that
the yellow.
Yeah.
I like the blue. I mean, there's a lot of different things that they could put on.
They could go hog wild, and who knows if they will or not. They did with the horsepower, so
they did, right? So they could throw anything at us.
Yeah.
So product line, other things, other in the news. We're kind of a year away from electric, Matt. ZDX. We're getting close.
It's literally like a year.
It's literally a year. So we kind of got some more tentative but firmer time when that car is going to be coming out. and it sounds like the beginning of 24, the model year, they're going to start production.
Right.
Probably will be a 25, our version.
Right.
So the Honda version of the electric, which the Honda Prologue,
which everyone wants to call it the Prelude.
right? Prologue will come out in late this year in December, January.
As a 2024 model?
As probably 24 model. Well, no, it'll probably be a 25 too.
Okay.
And then the Acura, the ZDX, will be released just a couple months after that. So really crunch time for the dealers because we're getting ready for the electric cycle. In other words, all the dealers have to have their electric in place, charging place, ports, service department outside, parking spots, all that stuff put together. We're fortunate we have a campus here. We already have some stores that have it, but we still have to get it at our Honda and Acura facility here. So, but that's important as time goes on because we're only a year away and it's coming.
Yeah, and so speaking of like a year away of the electric cars, with inventory as far as like 2024s, I know we wanted to, I think, bring that up, right, with regards to the MDX and Integras, the bank of orders.
Yes, so let's talk about that real quick. I don't want to forget about one more thing on the ZDX that I want to bring up. But we did say the Integra that we ordered 2024 model. That we are on 24s here on out. There's actually, we only have a handful of 23s left in the system to come in. So keep that in mind because the incentives you see now, there are some decent incentives.
Yeah.
I mean, we won't run through all those today, but there are some incentives. There's some loyalty. There's some lease cash. Some things on some of the cars that they didn't have before, and some rates depending where you live. That stuff applies to the 23 model, and there's 24s coming not too far down the road. So, as much as we were hoping the inventory problems would be fixed, they're gonna, as we switch model years, that's gonna get a little convoluted again.
Yeah, and obviously with price increases as always, per model year. So
that affects the Integra, and then the other one, which kind of snuck in, which we have a nice supply of MDX right now, but half of what we have on order is 2024. So, actually the MDX, and I know this MDX is more expensive than the previous generation, rightfully so. It's a much better vehicle than what it was in the past. They do have some nice incentives on that, especially if you're into lease. Compared to what it was maybe in the last year and a half, or since it came out, it's probably as good as it's been. And there's some availability of that car. So if you're interested in one of those, I wouldn't wait super long because as time goes on, those 23s are going to go away, and they're not going to put that same incentive up on the 24.
Right, exactly.
Just something to keep in the back of your head.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely something to keep an eye out on. And we haven't really leased a whole lot of leases, but with those incentives, it made a huge difference in what those leases do look like. So if you're in a lease now of an MDX, I would definitely, stop by and see what that looks like at your local dealer to figure out if it makes sense for you to do something sooner rather than later on that. I know we talked a little about the ZDX.
Oh, last thing on the ZDX. Yeah. So let's talk about how you're going to get your hands on a ZDX. Yeah. Because and Acura's kind of already, I'd say they hinted at it. They kind of told everybody this before, and it wasn't the important things, right? Because what we want to know about is the car, the size, the horsepower, what's it going to do, what's the range, which rightfully so. Yeah. Because you don't know if you even want one until you know that stuff.
Right, yeah.
However, you won't talk to myself or Matt to get one of those.
Sorry.
You will, kind of, but you're going to be buying that vehicle online through Acura. And it'll be delivered to the dealership. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I don't know how that system. I mean, this is
new territory.
That's where stuff's going, right? Is that the way it's going to be? Initially, that's the way it's going to be. When that order bank and those things are going to open, I don't know, but I would think later this summer, fall, we're going to have more information. That's when we're going to hear about when that time frame comes to when you can actually place an order for one of those. And then you'll probably select your dealership, and there's going to be some things. I'm sure we'll have a car or so inventory. People can see, touch, smell, taste, and see what it's all about. But then the cars will be ordered through Acura. With us just maybe saying, hey, here's what your steps you
here's your car, which is fine in a lot of ways. I know that's something.
Yeah, well, I mean, people hate dealing with salespeople.
I get it. I hate me.
So
I hate dealing with me sometimes.
The feeling's mutual. So
wait, with me or yourself?
I meant myself. But I hate dealing with my computer sometimes. So I don't. It'd be a love-hate relationship
It's gonna be
on
interesting
ordering
for
those,
sure.
But just know that you really can't. I mean, and I wouldn't even consider leaving a deposit at your dealership if you're thinking of one of it, because it's not how you're going to buy that car, at least from what they're telling us.
I think it's officially something.
Yeah,
officially that's how
much,
the beginning is going to go, and
which might not be much different than a lot of the other
like the PM or even like the PMC stuff.
Right.
Yeah, it's
so I know that Cadillac's been taking orders online for
the
Lyric for a long time, and
that's
same system. You get on there and you put your deposit, you build the vehicle you want. Yep. Same thing there, and of course, the industry that that trailblazed all this with Tesla, and that's how you buy a Tesla, and so that's it's the same theory model. Right. And it sounds like moving forward, that's their plan with all the electric vehicles. So that's what we have to kind of
go from, and we're learning. We're learning along with everyone else too. So it'll be interesting to see how that kind of plays out. As far as other future product, Justin.
So that's interesting because we have the RDX, which is going to be coming up sometime for a
redesign. Yeah, the 2024. So
the 24 is going to be the same. Yep. So 25 maybe is.
Which again, we're talking next year, right? If we're talking 2025 as far as the ZDX goes in this spring, if the RDX comes out around the same time or thereafter.
And so what will be interesting to see is, the RDX has been a great seller. I don't know that I feel like it needs change yet, but it's just timing. That's how things go. So it'll be interesting. Will they keep it around for one more year, or will they change it next year? That'll be the big question. So there's lots we'll learn about that. But there's also talk of adding one more vehicle to the lineup.
And we've talked about that before, right?
Yeah, we have.
We've kind of mentioned it, but
slated below the RDX, that in between smaller, maybe SUV, CUV, something a little different. There's a lot of talk of that. There is speculation that something's coming, and that will also be in the spring. So there's going to be it's just going to be a rollout after rollout as time goes on.
Yeah, 2024 is a big year. As we go into this next year, it's a huge year for Acura to see what the future of the next really 5 to 10 years will be.
Yeah, over the next year we're gonna see lots of changes as where the path goes and where everything's going. Obviously, most of the product we have now is new and current. Yeah. RDX being the oldest one,
right? Which is kind of crazy to think about now.
Yeah, which this is the time we wanted for in the brand when everything felt like it was there for years. Acura, and then this is, they always had a great model and then models that need to be changed, and by the time they change that those models weren't so great, and so now we're kind of feels like the cylinders are starting to fire all together.
Yeah, there's more cohesiveness in the brand for sure. Since I've been here,
and the direction. I start thinking about that. I'm like, okay, so we'll have the TLX Type S, the MDX Type S, the Integra Type S. And then the RDX, and then possibly with the new one, you get the new RDX, and then a year later, maybe, dare I say, RDX Type S?
I have a theory.
And then a newer small model in the mix of all that, and the ZDX. Wow, we went from a 3-model brand to a whole bunch.
That's very true.
Which is exciting.
Right. So I have a theory, and everyone could shoot me down if they'd like. Obviously, everything has a Type S except for the RDX. They've even announced a ZDX Type S.
Boy, I'm glad you brought that. I forgot about that because they're going to have the regular ZDX and the Type S. Which, here's my take on it, just real quick, not to stay sidetracked.
Please go.
The Type S in the ZDX, I think, is going to be the long range, more power.
Well, why don't all-wheel drive? Or I think
well, that could, whether it's front wheel or rear,
how that lays out.
Dual
my
motor.
Theory is, kind of like they've done send-offs with like the old TLX PMC. They said, here's the last year, we're going to make a PMC.
Oh, you think they might do here's a
and guess what
RDX.
motor? Guess what they're going to put in it? Well, it already has a 2-liter turbo, but why not put the Type S motor that they're putting in the Integra as a send-off?
Wow. You could be on it.
There's
could be in something.
What's the difference?
Because it's one more year left. Keep it alive with a... That'd be great timing, though. I would like that. Because I think I love to see a Type S in this generation.
Yeah.
That's not to say that the next generation of RDX won't be good.
Yeah.
But I like this one.
But 320 horsepower in that thing, I mean, it's the right amount.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I think there's something there, and that is nothing I've ever heard. That's just simply coming from me.
Not speculating. So
I'm
don't
speculating.
go try to
This is
order
speculation. Don't order one.
Don't try to get one.
But all they have to do is turn up the tune, right? I mean, it's the same engine.
Like turn the radio.
Whatever. However that works. I don't know. I'm not a technician.
turn up the tune.
Turn up the boost.
Just change the badge and turn up the boost.
Right. That's right. And then the other rumblings. We've talked about this before. The NSX. What's gonna.
Oh yeah, what's gonna happen with the NSX? So
which it's gone.
Seeing as they went 12 years before they decided to make it again. Was it? I think it was 12 years.
Something like that. It was over a decade for sure. It was over 10 years. Yeah.
I mean, I think they feel that they have some time, but I think nobody's denied from Acura, and I think even John.
Yeah, John Acura. Yeah, he's even said that.
They didn't deny that there couldn't be another NSX, and they were pretty clear that it would probably be an electric.
Yeah.
So, which I don't have a love-hate for that. If there's any car that I think fits an electric, like
performance type.
Well, here makes sense is a performance car because the performance attributes of the electric motors and everything set that aside, but it's also a car that you're not going to probably travel across country in.
Totally.
So you don't have to worry about where's the next charging station. You charge it up, you go out and burn down the battery, and you put it back in your garage until next Sunday. I mean,
I totally agree with that, and that's really where that development probably should be, is with the more performance stuff. Right. But I don't know. Well, there's a lot that we're learning. We're all learning with everyone. There's some really cool stuff obviously coming up. So just stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. Well, I mean, we might not be the first to get out. We'd love to. Unfortunately, we have a regular career that we have to take care of. So we'll let the media, do their job and get everything out to you. We'll try to make comments and let you know what we do know. And I think that's what we try to add value here.
Yeah.
Is because the media wants to tell you everything that they're told.
Right, and be the first to it. But we do like to make sure we are, I know we've had a few topics where I was like, I'm not ready to talk about that because either I didn't feel like as engaged enough with it, but we try to make sure we do as much research as we can on the topics that we do talk about. So we have had a chance to digest.
And we know as much as we can know about it. Just this, the Integra, we probably could have talked about it last week, but our Acura rep was here. Chance to pick his brain a little bit in the meantime to see if we can get you any other information or what else they're hearing if they don't want to share anymore. Just to try to share with you guys more so than because the press release, which you can look up, it wasn't very much.
No, in fact, I have the printout here. So
and rightfully so. I mean, they don't want to tell much yet, but but we will see that car very soon. We'll get to see the real version of it. No more prototype.
Yeah, super exciting times for Acura. If you're in the market, Acura, there's no better time to really check them out. I mean, really, over the past 5 to 10 years, they've kind of completely changed the brand name. They completely changed who they are. But so it's exciting time, and we're excited to see the future.
So incentives, we have not talked about incentives and inventory and stuff in a long time. Mm-hmm. Just know that there's some stuff out there that that kind of really came out this month.
Yeah.
If you're looking for some product, and I say stuff because there was nothing for a long time as far as incentives. There is some availability as far as product. The only car I'm going to caution you on is RDX right now. Still pretty thin out there across the board. I mean, there's some. I mean, and if you find one and you find the one you want, unless you want a 24, I wouldn't wait because like I said, there aren't many 23s left in the system.
Well, we had 3 tech packages and we sold through 2 of them.
Yeah, and there's only, we only have a couple more coming. And that's it for the 23 model year. So, other than that, that's a wrap. That's it. We'll catch you up next time.
Yeah.
And
thanks for tuning in. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much again. Make sure to like and subscribe if you are watching on YouTube. I'm sure other people follow along in different contents, but we appreciate all the comments and everything. We do try to read through those. I don't always respond to them, but we do read them because it helps us understand what kind of content you want to see. So again, thank you so much for listening and/or watching. We appreciate it. See you next time, and have a good night.
Talk to you soon.